Hello, hello Year 4. This is going to be a video about you guys doing some convincing, using persuasive language to convince me to do something that realistically I really want to do, but I want you to do some really good convincing. And this means that you guys get to have a little bit more of an opportunity to flex your persuasive language muscles. This week, I'm going to do, instead of one task that's going to take you all week, I'm going to do a couple of smaller tasks for you guys to just do some quick persuasive language stuff. And I'm going to run you through the slideshow that I made, and then I'm going to show you how to use it. So make it very quick. All right, so I'm just going to go into present mode. All right, convincing Mr. Bayley. Got to convince me. We all know Mr. Bayley. Lockdown has made Mr. Bayley a little bit sad. Who's that guy? Oh my goodness. Is that me sitting in this exact spot? He misses playing guitar with his buddies like Mr. Crisp and Mr. Branson and some others. And he needs some cheering up. So what are we going to do to cheer him up? So he needs a new guitar. Thanks, guys. Thanks. I knew you guys were going to help me out. And this just might be crazy enough to work. I'm going to move that around. Yep, might be crazy enough to work. So that'll fix things, right? It'll give him something to do. He can practice his skills, and it might even make him look cool. That's a pretty hard thing to do, to make Mr. Bayley look cool. Unless I do this. That's making me look cool. All right, moving on. He already has some pretty nice guitars, but you can never have too many guitars. So I have this one. It's so pretty. I have this one, which is also so pretty. And I also have one of these, which you can't see right now unless I move. And that one's very pretty as well. Mine's a slightly different color, but it's basically the same guitar. And I love these guitars, but they all sound really different, and I want one that sounds very different from these ones even. So we need to help me. You need to help me. You guys, I need help. I need help deciding what I should buy. And I'm going to go across to the next four. There's four guitars you're going to choose from. Oh yeah, yes, you're going to help me. Yes. So which guitars should he choose? So I picked four. Move that out of the way again. Maybe I'll just put my head there. How about that? So I picked four for you guys to pick for me, and I want you to tell me why I should pick it. Why I should pick one, which one I should pick, and why. And I'll give you a little bit of a reason as to why I'm going to pick these guitars, or why I chose these guitars for you to choose. I'll tell you a little bit about each one. Shouldn't take too long. All right, so this one is the Gretsch Electromatic. Now, this one was originally made in the 1950s, and you can still buy them pretty cheap. They're not too expensive, but they're also really cool looking. These things in here are called pickups, and they sound really good. They sound really cool, and they're really good for like rock and punk, and also like stuff like jazz and country. And they sound pretty slick. The only thing I don't like about it is this thing here. I don't like it's called a tremolo system. Or a whammy bar. I don't really like that one so much, but it is a very pretty looking guitar, and I love the color. So tell me what you think. Do you reckon I should buy this one? It sounds really cool. It looks really cool. It's not too expensive. It's fairly affordable, and it looks cool as well. The other thing about it that's maybe not so good, I got a con here, not a pro, a con, is that these the holes here in the body, they to give it a bit more resonance, so it makes it have a unique sound. But a lot of the gear that I already have will make it feedback, so it'll make it squeaky and make it sound like ee all the time. So yeah, we don't want that. But there are ways around that. But yeah, so that's the first one. Okay, so this one is the Gibson Les Paul Special. I love this guitar. Again, it's a little bit more expensive than the last one, but it's not too expensive. It's not too expensive. I love these pickups. They're called P90s. This one is also from the 1950s. They make reissues today, which is a really cool thing. The real reason why I like this guitar so much is that it has um, it's all one piece. So this is one piece of wood that they've carved out of one thing. So it's just one whole piece of wood. And other than that, it's just got like a bit of a thing on the top. They've kind of glued the fingerboard on the top. So that's pretty cool. The other reason why I really like this guitar is it's pretty simple. It doesn't have like lots of fancy holes in it or like lots of fancy switches or anything like that. It just has tone and volume and that's it. And it's great for things like rock and roll, punk music, um, even like metal. It can do metal kind of, and I like to play a bit of metal from time to time. But it also does a lot of other cool things too. Like it sounds it can do kind of like that indie rock sound, or it can kind of do that. Um, it can do some other sounds too. So that's one that I'm it's a pretty cool one. Uh, if you like this one, tell me why I should get this one. Plus, the color's nice. And a cool fun fact here: the reason why back in the 1950s, a lot of guitars were yellow because on black and white TV, yellow showed up as white. But if you put white, it would just make a big bright, it would look kind of like it was burning a hole in your TV. So they made a lot of things. They call this one a TV yellow color for that reason. This one, the Fender Duo Sonic. I love the color on this one. I love that you can see the wood grains. Um, this one isn't as common. You don't see these around as much. And at the moment, Fender, the brand, are doing a limited run of these, and they're fairly cheap. They're only about $1,000, which is for a good guitar, that's pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap to buy. Plus, in a few years, if I decided I wanted to sell this one, I reckon I'd probably get a good like 1,500, maybe $2,000 for it once the stocks run out. And I love the pickups on this one. This one's called a humbucker, and that's a single coil. They sound really cool. That this one again is really good for rock and roll, but this one's also pretty good for other things too, like funk and maybe to do like shreddy lead guitar solos and stuff like that. And it's really light, like a really lightweight guitar. It only weighs a couple of kilos, which when you're playing guitar, you don't want one that's too heavy. The one back here, this one's also pretty light, but this one is really heavy. So it's a bit of a downside. But this one here, I really like the color. Also, if you own it for long enough, all the varnish wears off and you get some cool like relicking, which is what happens when a guitar loses some of its finish and it looks really awesome. I also like the maple colored neck. I like this one a lot. Um, Yeah, so and it also has very different tones and stuff. And this one, last one, this one is easily the most expensive. It's the most expensive by a mile. So this one here probably costs about $1,500. This one probably costs about $1,600 to maybe $2,000. But this one will increase in value once I own it for a while, and this one won't. And this one will increase in value, but it's only like $1,000. This one is I think it's about $3,500. Yikes. But it'll probably last me a lifetime. It's one that I could buy once and I'd never have to buy another Stratocaster. I love the gold scratch plate. The pickups are really cool. I love this trem system as well. I love that. It makes the guitar sound really cool when you pull on it, and it does like a whirr kind of sound. And I love it looks like it's just black, but if you move this around, it actually has like little bronze flecks in it. So it kind of has like a shiny, like kind of like when you get a shiny Pokemon card, it kind of looks like that, but it's black. And then the silver sort of does the same thing. I love the color of the neck too. Like it's sort of like a burnt, like a roasted maple. neck, which is really cool. And yeah, this thing has a lot of tone options. It sounds really spanky and clean, so it kind of sounds like a like a you could put it in like a hip hop song. You could put it in a funk song. It's really good for pop music. It's also really good for things like psychedelic rock and really great for like lead guitar solos. Not the best guitar for punk music or rock music so much. You can make them sound really good for rock music, but just you need to do a bit of work to it. And basically, another really good thing about this guitar is that it'll hold its value. So that means that it'll still cost the same if I sell it. I'd probably be able to get the same money back for if I did buy it. So if I decided I didn't like it and I wanted to sell it or sell any of these guitars, this one would hold its value, whereas some of the others I might actually get more money back for it. It's pretty strange how that happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with these slides. I'm sending them out to you as is. Which one should I buy? Which one should I choose? That's up to you. What I want you to do is if you decide that I should own this one because you think it's the coolest, you need to tell me that. So, Mr. Bayley, I think this guitar is the one you should buy. You said it's not too expensive. Fix that. Too expensive. And 2 votes for that one. It's not too expensive. And it would sound really cool. I love the red color, and I think it would make you look super duper rad when you play gigs with Mr. Branson, who is not super duper rad. That's just a start, okay? So there's a couple of ideas there. This one is so this what I've written here. So Mr. Bayley, I think this guitar is the one that you should buy. Uh, you said it isn't too expensive, and I think it would sound really cool. I love the red color, and I think it would make you look super duper rad. What a cool word. When you play gigs with Mr. Branson, who is not super duper rad. I know, shots fired, but he is actually pretty talented. Um, so yeah, anyway, so the big thing about why I chose these 4 guitars is because all of these 4 guitars don't sound anything like the ones that I have already. So and potentially I might buy one. So if I do buy one, um, it's because of you guys. All right. If you have any problems with this one, feel free to send me an email. I'll leave it in the slides that I make for this one. I'll leave it in there. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Other than that, I hope you really enjoy doing this task, and tell me which one is your favorite as well. So if you think I should get this one, but your actual favorite was, say it was this one, for example, you say this one is actually my favorite and I would buy this one because it's the cheapest and it looks cool and blah 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 blah. So yeah, go crazy, and I want you to convince me to buy this. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you again soon. How do you stop this? Oh, there we go.